Put your hands together for the best damn sports show weekly.
Come into the room on a Sunday afternoon. Nyo Weekly, lowering the boom. Step into the room on a Sunday afternoon, and it's Nyo Weekly, lowering the boom.
Make some noise for your host, Nico.
Lowering the boom.
Suave. Make some noise for the OG.
Lowering the boom.
950 Cav.
Lowering the boom.
And TJ Jones.
Lowering the boom. Step into the room on a Sunday afternoon, and it's Nyo Weekly, lowering the boom. Step into the room on a Sunday afternoon, and it's Nyo Weekly, lowering the boom.
What up, people? Welcome to Nyo Weekly. It's your boy Suave. Hope everyone's doing well. I told you, boy. Indiana was going to take game one. Indiana was going to take it. Now, as far as the rest of this series, I don't know. I don't know how the rest of this series is going to go, but the way they came back and the way they won on Thursday, and they played a bad game. 25 turnovers for the game. I think they had like 20 in the first half. That's a recipe for a disaster. Now, going forward, I don't know what game 2 looks like because, if I'm Indiana and I cut them turnovers in half from 25 to 10 to 12, how does this game look? Does Indiana really run away with this game? That's the $1 million question, I think. But, nobody over 20 for Indiana. You had Siakam with 19, Naismith with 10, Turner and Nembhard and Halliburton, all 14 or better. And then you had Obi, great game, 17 points, 5 for 8 from 3. Maybe tonight it's Benedict Mathen. I don't know. And then on OKC side, Williams, he had a low-key game. Chet didn't even get 10. What do they do different going forward for this game? It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting seeing it. But I think losing that game the way you did is very interesting. Very interesting. They walked you down. They walked OKC down. I'll say firsthand, you up, 94-79? Game should be over. Or you would think the game is over, but Indiana kept chipping away, lead after, come down, make a bucket. Get a stop, come down, make a bucket. And the refs was letting them play too. That was one thing I did like myself, that refs was letting them play, man. It was a good game. Halliburton comes through again. He's had a game winner in every round these playoffs, which is crazy. So I don't know. I don't know how tonight looks, man. Because like I say, OKC, you lost by 1. And also, Indiana, you won by 1. But if you OKC, you forced 25 turnovers. And if you Indiana, you gave up 25 turnovers. So how does it look going forward? We shall see. For anybody watching now or later, put your series prediction in the chat. Do you think OKC takes this one and runs away with it? Does a gentleman sweep, let them win the first one, and then they just kill them the next 4 games? Or is this one of them things where, Indiana is a problem? Because I think, it is a sense of urgency. If you're OKC tonight, you got to win. I don't really know what to say about Shea. He was 14 for 30, 38 points. I don't know if you really want him taking 30 shots to get 38 points. Maybe if some of those would have went to Chet, or a couple more would have went to maybe Jalen Williams. That game looks a lot different. But hey, they was at the point of attack, man. They was in them lanes, getting steals, quick outlets, and that first half, I would say Halliburton looked confused. He looked very confused. And it was just, they were just the better team. But the crazy thing is, you force, I think, 17, 18 turnovers, and you only up 12. Out of all them turnovers, you only had like 6 points. That's another, that's one of them things that's like, in NFL terms, forcing 4 turnovers, but you only got 2 field goals out of it. You gotta put points on the board. So this is gonna look interesting. Tonight is gonna look very interesting because if I'm Indiana, you don't want to really take your foot off the gas, because if you can, go back to Indiana again, up 2-0, like they've done in these last 2 series, man, that's gonna be a tough one. But I think similar to the last 2 series, I think OKC would more than likely win game 3, and maybe Indiana, give them that 3, but win 4, and then of course, not predicting, but I'm just saying, if OKC lose tonight, it's gonna look real scary. So I don't know, man. Put your predictions in the chat, or comment down below how you think this is gonna look, this series going forward. Aaron Rodgers finally signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers. My question is, did the Steelers do the right thing waiting for Rodgers? I think with all the antics and just what comes with them, the drama, gotta wait and see. Hopefully, Mike T can kind of dumb some of those things down and really get the best version of Aaron Rodgers, because this will be his second year off of that torn Achilles he suffered on Monday Night Football 2 years ago. So hopefully he can give them some kind of production. But I do think they should have made other arrangements just in case he didn't sign, just in case he retired. Maybe they just had a handshake agreement and they always knew this. But, why not go get a Shador Sanders or keep a Justin Fields just as an insurance policy for your quarterback of the future? I don't understand why they didn't do that. Maybe that's just, hey, Erica, how you doing? And Rodgers gonna take direction from Tom. I hope so. You hope so, Erica, because I think Tomlin, he knows that this could potentially be the end of the road for him. And same thing for Aaron Rodgers. If he looks bad, these first couple games, or he's not playing like they think he should be, it's gonna be an interesting discussion. You put a lot of faith into a guy that you're not too sure about. Yes, he could still, throw the football with the best of them, but just as far as the antics and the Pat McAfee show and all those things, I'm sure that can be a factor. I'm sure it could be a factor as well. So I don't know. I don't know. They say he signs with them on Monday. If I'm not mistaken, they say uh like 20 mil or something like that for the year. Let's see how much is guaranteed. Give me 1 second, people. Per Adam Schefter, the number 8 jersey. Okay. Aaron Rodgers will wear number 8. More about Rodgers. 1 year deal, 13.6 million deal, worth up to 19.5. So probably a lot of incentives. Uh, he will address media on Tuesday following the team's first minicamp practice. So, like I say, man, you just hope that Tomlin can get the best version of Aaron Rodgers that can hopefully lead them past first round of the playoffs, or that 8-8, 9-8 now, barely making the playoffs. Hopefully they can really be a force, because in Pittsburgh, you used to teams, them Pittsburgh teams having a solid defense and maybe not great but good enough QB play to win you 10, 11 games, and really cement yourself in the playoffs and be a force, be one of them teams don't want to see. Last few years, not so much, because they've been in that quarterback carousel. Uh, they tried Russ and Justin Fields. That was kind of it was interesting because when you bench Justin Fields, and at that time I think they was 4-2. I believe it had a lot to do with that. Not wanting to get a Bears that 4th-round pick. I believe if he played 52% of snaps, so they played Russ. Russ had some games where he looked good. Russ is also one of them guys. He may be on a downward slope. It's gonna be something to see in New York. With him and Jameis and Jackson Dart, does he still have it? Because I think that New York Giants defense is gonna be solid. So if you can get a team 17 or better, maybe y'all can win some games. They're in a tough division, that NFC North. I mean, that NFC East. It's going to be interesting. But as far as Rodgers, I hope for Mike Tomlin's sake it works out. Hope them antics. I'm sure Mike T will nip it in the bud, but he's not feared as he once was. No, I believe that. I believe that too. You got a good point there, Erica. Um, but I do think he can still be productive. He can still be solid with that defense. Um, Watt and Highsmith. I would say right now, he's probably the third best quarterback in that division. Behind, of course, Joe Burrow and Lamar. In Cleveland, they haven't figured it out yet. So I think just off top, he's third best in that division. But I don't know how that's gonna go. You think that they could be productive, but with him being an older quarterback, smallest thing could, knock him out for the season. Knock on wood. So it's gonna be interesting. Gonna be real interesting to see. But I do believe he'll. I think Mike T will get the best version of Aaron Rodgers in these last. And when I say best version, I mean the 30 plus and up version of him. I think they'll get that for sure. And they'll be productive. They'll be productive. Now, as far as season and where they will rank in the wins and losses, I don't know. I don't know. That'll be something you just have to see how it pans out. But as far as him being, what he once was, you never know. You never know. I just think if he can get him play a solid 11 or better, barring injury, I'm sure he could get you at least 25, 30 touchdowns. He's not really turnover prone. So, that defense is not going to have to play on a lot of short fields. It's going to be interesting to see, man. But, this week, the guys are traveling and working and doing other things. So, we're going to let you all go. Appreciate you all for the love and support. Please like, share, subscribe. Turn on them post notifications. So every time we post, you can get the video. And for all you guys out there, coaches, whatever, tap in with us. Let's get you on the show. And just talk ball, man. Athletes, coaches, whoever, former athletes. Tap in with us, and we'll see you all next week. Peace.